What's up, everybody? Welcome back. We're doing another live stream on Pink Tourmaline. Uh-oh. Whoop, whoop. What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? Hold on. There's some weird. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I see. All right, we're good. We're good. I stopped the audio. My actual live stream was playing on another open window on my computer. Anyways, there we go. We are live, everybody. Welcome back to another live stream. Now, my voice is a little shot right now. I don't know what's going on. I think I've been doing too many YouTube videos and talking too much. I teach for my work as well, and I have a lot of students that I work with on a weekly basis in my tutoring business. So my voice has just been struggling lately. So I wasn't sure if I should do a live stream today, but I really want to be. My goal is to be doing at least 2 live streams a week, and eventually I might increase that even more so. But it's already Wednesday. Hadn't done the second one, so I decided, hey, let's do this and let's talk to everybody and see where we're all at after the last week of information and videos that I've released. Krishna Consciousness Academy says, "Yo, what's up? What's up?" Krishna, I think you might be new to the channel. I don't remember seeing any of your comments, but welcome, welcome. Viv B is back in the house. Good afternoon. Sore from working in the garden, but I'm here. Yes, let's go. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate it, especially since I posted this not too long ago, like 4 or 5 hours ago. So yeah, I'm going to try and do a better job, but plan on the Friday one at 6 p.m. right now. That's locked in. We're going to be doing that every Friday. So if you guys want to see me regularly, that will be the day. And then we can talk about whether or not you guys think multiple of these live streams would be beneficial for people. And I'm still figuring out the membership stuff. So, but my plan is basically I'm going to create a membership group through YouTube, but hopefully we'll be able to meet in some sort of like a Zoom setting or somewhere else where I know Mihaela was saying that she wanted to be able to be in a shared like video chat where we can all talk to people. So I'm going to set that up. I'm hoping I can do it by Friday. And then when we have it on our next live stream, I'll post that, and then people can sign up if they think it's useful. Black Herd is here. Welcome back. Welcome back. Melodia Primarosa. Am I pronouncing your name right? And I saw you in the comments. I responded to some of your comments. Hi from New Jersey. I'm so happy to be here on my first live stream and happy to have found this channel. Let's go. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining. Happy to have you as well. I think you commented on my last video. Hold on. Let me go back to my comments. What were the things that we said? That you said? Let me remember. Refresh my memory. Hold on. Responded. Boom. I got a lot of comments on the last couple of videos. Let me see here. It was Melodia Silver Soul. Here it is. You said for my Isabella Green video, thank you so much for sharing this video. I hope she comes to your channel. Yes, dude, I want to interview her. I watched that video because I read her book, and I hadn't really seen her speak. And tell me if you got, I just get such a good vibe from her. Like she's just not she's just sincere. She says it how it is. She's not, you know how some people you get that vibe that they're a little putting on something, you know what I mean? When they're talking, like you just feel something is off. And I'm not gonna call out, but you get what I'm saying. And I just don't get that at all with Isabella Green. I just feel like she's one of those people that she's like unapologetically her, and I like people like that. Obviously. I mean, it goes without saying. We want to be around sincere, real people. So anyways, yeah, I really hope I can get her on. Maybe as my channel grows, because I saw the interview that she did that I made the whole video about. And that guy only had like 20,000 subscribers. So he didn't have a huge following. And, maybe I can be at a point soon where she'd be open to it. Christian says, appreciate your content. I've been on the channel for a couple of weeks. Oh, sweet. Let's go. Yeah, Krishna, have you noticed? I don't know how far you went back into my channel, but you may or may not have noticed that. I guess you could say, look, I don't want to put myself in any school of thought or any fixed place, because I always want to keep learning and I want to stay flexible in my thinking and where I'm at. Plus, my standpoint on the nature of reality, atheism, Islam, from growing up, like, it's shifted so many times throughout my life. So the one thing I've learned is that I don't know what's going on and we have imperfect information, and we're trying. So I'm going to stay flexible. But one thing you may have noticed is in my earlier videos, I was on kind of like the new age spirituality kick, where I was watching a ton of NDEs. I was trying to convey those messages in the NDEs until one day I stumbled across a David Icke video, and I was like, I like David Icke because I remember he was saying all this crazy stuff about the, stuff that I can't really say on YouTube, about all the crazy evil stuff that these people at the top are doing. And then all of a sudden the Epstein files come out and he's been vindicated. I'm like, oh my God, he's been saying this for 20, 30 years. And now everybody's aware. You know what I mean? Everybody's talking about it. I just started going back and listening to more David Icke stuff again recently. I discovered him like 15 years ago. And then I got to that one video and he's like, yeah, and all these NDEs. And at this point, I'm telling people about NDEs. Oh my God, they're going to blow your mind. We can get real accounts from real people that are alive today, as opposed to like things for 600 years ago or 1,000 years ago or 2,000 years ago. We're having direct contact, direct experience. This is amazing. And then David Icke shattered my world. He shattered my world when he basically alleged that these NDEs are being potentially manipulated, and we're in some sort of a potential trap. And then so began this exploration down this windy road that is, obviously, ultimately, we want to know the truth. And if this is where the truth lies, we got to go here. But yeah, at first it was definitely jarring, and it was definitely upsetting. But anyways, just wondering if you noticed that transition or shift, Krishna. Truth Seeker is in the house. Hey, how's everyone tonight? Melodia says, yes, you pronounced it right. Okay, let me just write that. Say that again. Melodia Primarosa. Okay, cool. Yep, thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. And yep, I did respond to your comment. Yes, I get a good vibe. Yeah, heck yeah. I read her book, Escaping the Trap. So I need to read Escaping the Trap. I've read Leaving the Trap. I think Escaping the Trap is the sequel. And I think we need to trust our intuition with people, right? You're saying you get a good vibe from her. So am I. I've also been thinking about this as well. I think that I keep going back to this theory and this idea that if we ourselves are trying to live authentic lives and be authentic people and trying to do the right thing, look, we're not going to be perfect, okay? But trying to do the right thing just for the sake of doing the right thing, as opposed to when other people are watching this and just being sincere, right? I think that those of us that are operating in that fashion are going to be the ones best suited to be good barometers for other people and their sincerity or lack thereof it. I think there's something to that. I have no evidence to support this as of right now, but that's just a gut feeling that I have. So I'm going to trust my intuition when I come across people that feel right to me, especially at this point in my life where, I feel like I've had a fair amount of experience in this world, on this planet, deciphering real from phony. You read David Icke. Which David Icke book did you read, Melodia? Was it the what's it called? Road to Escape? I can't remember. Tell me which one. I'd love to know. I need to start. It's funny. David Icke kicked off all this stuff for me, and I still haven't even bought any of his many books. And I will, and I want to. I think his books are going to be amazing and really fun reads. But man, it's been taking me so long to get through the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and I thought I was going to have it done like a week ago. I'm like slowly getting through. Let me tell you why, by the way. I read at the end of the day. At the end of the day, I go in my bed and I sit down and read. And the last like week and a half, I've just been staying up so late working on, because I tutor a ton. I have a really busy schedule. And then I finish my day, then I make my food, then I go and I read, and then I meditate. And it's just and then it's like getting so late. So my reading has been getting diminished, especially with the Tibetan Book of the Dead. It's not the lightest read. It's repetitive too. So I've just been, struggling getting through that, but soon enough. I'm going to get through it tomorrow, I think, because I have a flight. So Eddie says we need proper knowledge, but let's not get obsessive. Eddie, are you talking to me specifically? Because I think was it you that commented in one of my videos as saying, man, you're obsessed or something like that? Are you saying that I'm getting too obsessive? And I'm not. I'm totally, I just want to hear your honest opinion of what you see in me. Do you think I'm going dangerously obsessive here? Let me know your thoughts. Some NDEs literally begging not to come back, but God says, nope, back you go, and they get stuff back. So Viv, I haven't seen, I've heard people talk about this, but all the NDE, because I kind of stopped watching NDEs recently since I've gotten onto this other vantage point of what NDEs truly are. But can you send me some of those? Either email them to me or post them right now. Actually, we could watch. Let's watch one together because I've heard about this, but I've never seen an NDE account like that. Krishna says, "Yeah, I've seen that change. Even I changed from New Age." Oh, snap! So you're just like me. Hey, Krishna, where are you from? Tell me about yourself. Are you in the U.S.? Yeah, tell me a little bit about yourself because it sounds like we're on the same exact journey. Melodia, the David Icke book I read is called The Reveal. The Reveal, Next Stage of Human Awareness. Okay. I know he's written like a ton. I think he's a very prolific guy. Hold on. Sorry, I'm taking this beekeeper thing, immune support. Anyways, my throat's feeling a little weird, so. And I have to do a lot of talking this week, and I'm commentating, actually. It's kind of a funny thing that I love to do. I love mixed martial arts, and I commentate for an MMA organization in Montana. So about every month or two, I fly out to Montana and I do commentating for them. And it's a sport that I love. And at some point, I have to think. I don't know. I don't know how many of you guys are into sports or different types of things like that. But anyways, it's something that I am passionate about, at least for now. But I just wonder if some point it's going to have a conflict, like being into sports in general with my pursuits here, which is obviously the most important thing, trying to figure out what the heck is going on in the Matrix. I don't know. Okay, Christian says, I would recommend you check out Callegro Grifasi. He is a hypnotic regressionist who is exposed. Okay, hold on. Let's look him up right now. Let's do it together. This is how I learn, people, from all of you making recommendations and suggestions. Okay, let's see here. All right, so Calogoro Grifasi. Okay, let's see this. He's got a YouTube channel as well. If you are not the problem, it's what you don't see. Past life regressive. Dude, I should do this. What? And I still have to do that QHHT therapy too. I've still got that on my list. Since the beginning of my online activity in 2012, I've always been an element of innovation, disruption in the world. Philosophies, techniques, and trends followed up to that point were subjected to analysis and stress testing, and then completely turned upside down without any reverence. This gave birth to not only a revolutionary method, but to a whole new way of interpreting regressive hypnosis in a modern key, unthinkable just a few years ago. Oh my God, I need to do this. It's an action movie that captivates you for fight monster. What? It's a journey through time between dimensional portals and telepathic communications. Holy smokes. Okay, wait. Okay. Okay, I need to... Okay, let me look at his YouTube channel. Hold on. 1 second. Okay, here we go. We're going to check this out. And I see the comments coming in. I'm going to get to them in 1 second. All right, let's see this. Modulating frequencies. Oh, I thought it said 61,000 subscribers. 4,000. Okay. I don't know where I read 60,000. And here we go. Let's look at this.
Perfect. Recording in progress. So, Alexandra, good morning.
Good morning.
So, a lot of time just passed away. It seemed we had an hypnosis.
hmm
Um, August,
I think that's Chicago, guys. Am I crazy? That looks like Chicago where he's in, the cities that he's in, but I could be wrong.
September?
I
No.
think so.
Yes, no?
Yeah, roughly around that time. Yeah.
Okay, so what about your results? What about your life after the session? Just tell me.
I would say um, the part that came up in the session, like when we were close to the end and we released, and there was still that part in my head that was like, oh, I don't know, all those things. But since much time has passed, I would say I still feel that part. I still see it, but it's completely different. And I would say that the biggest change has been internal, just connecting with that feeling at the end about my future and about the partner, the life. Even though it's not physically here, I feel no separation from it anymore. Like I feel now, all that time has passed, that is just who I am. And I'm not.
Okay, interesting. I'll dive in more into this guy a little bit later. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me add him to my list of potential people to even reach out to an interview. Hold on, and then we're gonna read all these comments. It is his name is once again. Let me see, Grifaldi. What is it? Calegaro Grifasi. Calegaro Grifasi. Calegaro. Caleg. Grifasi. Okay, done. Let me get through these comments. Here we go. Truth Seeker says, look up and read about Warning and Miracle. Garambando Conchita is still alive. I came across it back in 2016. I truly feel I experienced the Warning in 2019. Truth Seeker, tell me about it. I will look it up in 1 second, though. Garambando. Eddie says, no, not you personally, us as a whole. Pink Tourmaline, you're doing an excellent job. Thank you, Eddie. Appreciate you. KK Loco, there's nothing more important than this topic. Obsess away. Yeah, I agree. I'm surprised not more people are, so many people on this planet, and it's probably by design, are just like, yeah, I just got to go to work. I just got to follow the normal protocol. Like, what are you, like, why are you getting into all this stuff? This is crazy. Or, you know what I mean? It's like, wait, but we all know, we all recognize that we're born, we go through these phases. Anything and everything that we accumulate in this life, whether it's knowledge or financial or material or otherwise, we must let go when we leave. And even if we have offspring, they must at some point let go. Yet we hold on to this delusion that just by virtue of jumping through the hoops as they come up and leaving, I guess, your family with more than what you came in this world with, that is the aspiration. That is where we want to go to. But it's like, it's a goal that's not a goal, because it again is still an ephemeral goal that does not sustain. Even if you do that for thousands of generations, millions of generations, where does that lead to? What are we going towards? We have no answers. And so it's like, let's stop for a second from obsessing on the little micro goals or agendas in this life: education, career, money, family, these types of things. And let's zoom out for a second. Let's look at the macro. Let's take a minute to at least ask the question, because there must be something bigger. Hi, all. Another good one to read is Robert Monroe's book about loosh and why this planet was set up. I know I need to read his book, obviously. Oh my God, guys, I have a huge announcement. We're going to get back to Monroe. I wasn't going to say anything till Friday, but obviously I'm doing a live stream now, so I got a huge announcement for you guys about Monroe. The NDE was one that Tony Sayers did a review on, but it was a few years old. Can you send it to me? Send it to me. Let's look at it. Did you watch UFC this past weekend? Yes, I did. Are you a UFC fan? Khamzat Chimaev is my favorite fighter. I was so bummed that he lost, but it was a good fight. That's the way the sport goes. Krishna, you're from India. I'm an Indian too. My family is from Mumbai. Had my awakening in 2017, then encountered New Age. Couldn't completely agree to the 5D Ascension narrative. Brett Stewart. Oh, you're just like me. I made a Brett Stewart video as well. Woo. Be careful with the hypnosis. Tell me why. KK Loco, give me more info. Why? I feel Isabella is so direct that it's too jarring for people. I was in Drew. What's up, Amy Fagoli? Welcome back. I was introduced to her insights last year. I rejected them. A few months ago, I came across her via David Icke. I felt it this time. Truth. Yeah. Listen, it's tough. The things that they're saying, especially if it's brand new. Same with me. Look at my first video I did involving David Icke. I'm like, I don't know. This doesn't really, I don't know if this really makes sense. It's like, first of all, when you first hear it, it's hard to make sense of it when you believe something different for a while. But secondly, you don't want to believe it. Dude, it's so scary at the beginning. I mean, it's still scary. But now, I mean, it's life. I mean, if this is reality, this is reality. But it's so scary at the beginning because especially coming from, it's one thing maybe if you're coming from Christianity or Islam or something where you already have the fear factor of potential like eternal damnation or something. But when you're coming from the New Age, where everything is happening just as it is, you don't need to do anything because you're just, by virtue of living, you are fulfilling your purpose and you're safe. Everybody goes to the same place. You know what I mean? That's so comforting. And when that's taken away and it's like, no, we're actually in a crazy, insane matrix and it's going to be very difficult to escape. But that's our objective. So we can be free from this sort of repetitive cycle. And there's all this like deception when we thought, I used to think that all the deception on this planet is strictly on this planet. And then once you leave your body, it's all over. Like you're good, hey, so fine. People want to be crazy and do horrible things here and try to manipulate us. Like, I'm just going to tune it out. And I don't even know why they're placing such an emphasis on manipulating us so much while we're in this life, because what's the point? The real objective is where we go afterwards, the work we're doing, etc. But then when it's like, no, this is all, it's all together. The manipulation goes beyond this life and we stay trapped within it forever. And I mean, like, not forever, but as long as we're unable to escape. It's scary. And it's jarring. Awakening is nonsense. We don't need to awake. We already know. It's about endarkenment, not endarkenment. Interesting. I never heard that term, but I think I get what you're saying. Waking up to the negative of the piece of reality that we don't want to face is what you mean, I think. PT, everything here should be 1,000 times better. It's not, and that's the problem. Look up Katie Bishop, okay? The warning, okay, hold on. I'm going to look up both those people in 1 second. The warning is how people are living their lives wrongly, and we would experience the elimination of consciousness. See all what we've done. The warning is how people are living their lives wrongly. Okay. Gloom or Doom, to play the game at its call, as it's called again. Truth Seeker, you asked last weekend of an example of a mystery master. An example is the Mystery of Grace, is Mr. Rogers and Bob Ross. Mystery master, I don't remember that. Hey, ET Universe, you're Indian as well. Heck yeah, let's go. What dialect do you guys speak? I speak Gujarati. Not well though, but I grew up. I can understand it pretty well. Called equals value. You're coming from your mind when you're thinking fear. You need to keep removing fear. Yes, our whole life is a lie. Get over it. You have to rise above the fear. Nothing to be scared about. Fair enough. Fair enough. Isabella tells us to use Kundalini to escape. Yeah, she talks about that. Brett Stewart clearly tells in his video the soul could still get trapped. And even using Kundalini. I don't know how she managed to escape the prison net. Truth Seeker says, thank you, Gloom or Doom. Divya Stobirsky. The tricky what's up, Divya? I think you might be new to the channel. Welcome. The tricky thing about Isabella's instructions is that you need to awaken the Kundalini and have it erupt through the crown chakra, which is quite rare in traditional Hindu paths. Yeah, she mentions that, leaving through the crown of the body, or leaving through your crown. Tony Sayers rejects Isabella's techniques. Does he really? I did not know that. Hey guys, big announcement. Okay, I got two big announcements. Big announcement number one. Tony Sayers. I'm going to be interviewing him next Wednesday, guys. We already have a date. We already have a time. It's going down. And my goal is, because we're not going to do the interview live, I don't think. I'll ask him, but I think probably we're going to do it, just record it. But my goal is to release it on Wednesday, at least Wednesday night at the latest. So you guys are going to be getting a Tony Sayers interview from me. I'm so excited. I love interviewing people, and I'd love to get questions. We can even start compiling a list right now of questions that you guys think are great to ask Tony Sayers. So yeah, that's going down. Okay. Oh, you speak Hindi. Okay, cool. I listened to Cameron Day today, and he says to go to the root of the core of the earth, since there are many traps in the... Oh, what? So you got to go into the earth. I haven't looked into this at all in terms of how to escape exactly, but so I can't really speak intelligently about it. I know that in Giorgiani's book, he talks about, basically it's a lot of mind strengthening techniques is what it feels like to me. And ways to empower yourself so that you're not as easily manipulated. He doesn't exactly say whether to go up or down or left or right. It's more, you're gonna be encountering these beings, and they're gonna try and persuade you. This is how you empower yourself, to stand up and not get manipulated. That's what it feels like his message is. Truth Seeker says, hearts. Tony says Kundalini is a serpent energy. Oh, okay, hold on. Let's get our document up here. 1 second. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, 1. What are your thoughts on Kundalini as Isabella Green? Okay, I'll put serpent energy. Oh, okay, amazing. I'd like to know what the white void is. What is the white void? Wow, I have to look that up. Never heard of that. I've heard of the black void, not the white void. Okay, Juliana's asking Divya, do you know where Cameron Day disappeared to? Truth Seeker, you're a very good host. You truly interact with everyone, and that is rare. Thank you. Look forward to watching the interview. Let's go. Thank you, Truth Seeker. I appreciate it. Try my best. And my voice is like hurting right now. Excuse me. They have a Kundalini. Whoa, what? They have a Kundalini statue in the Vatican? I don't think that is good. Yeah, I would agree with that. Oh, my God. Hey, Escape the Loosh Farm. Dude, you always donate on the lives, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You're a legend. Much love to you all at work. So not able to get involved as much tonight, but needed to show support for my fellow truth seekers. Let's go. Thank you so much, dude. Hey, escape to bless all of us with knowledge on this journey to free freedom. Hey, Escape the Loosh Farm. I see you're at work. Can you just tell me what's your first name? I mean, I can call you Escape the Loosh Farm as well if you'd prefer, but just curious. Okay. Question for Tony. He removed most of his chakras. Says only 3 are genuine. Rest are artificial overlays. Okay. Genuine and the rest are overlays. Okay, boom. Thanks, Viv B. Gloom or Doom. Some churches use the Kundalini in some Christian churches, and they all wiggle around hyper-like and speak. Oh, I've seen the speaking in tongues stuff. I didn't know Kundalini was a part of that. In the video, he was upset that David Icke supported Elizabeth April and Isabella. Oh, what? Does David Icke support Elizabeth? I didn't know this. Wait, Amy, which video are you talking about? Hold on. Oh, in the video you're talking about. Okay. Let me see, that's why this stuff gets so confusing, right? You think you have a handle on somebody, maybe, and then somebody that you think is totally speaking the truth resonates with that person, and then like it's so confusing. God. Okay, could you send me this video, Amy? Cameron Day's aim is to go beyond the realms of duality. He refers to it as source energy. Okay. I've been listening to some people question this idea of returning to source, that's actually another part of the trap. Hey, oh, you're from Ohio. Welcome. I grew up in Michigan, so I'm from the Midwest originally. Thank you, David. Appreciate you. ET Universe. Have you heard about Elena Denon's work? No. Should I add her to my list? Tony's video, yes. Elena Denon. Here, let me add her. Because I just add people and then I look them up later. Elena Denon. Okay, and then we had a couple other people that you guys mentioned. Hold on. Cameron Day. Wait, did I have Cameron Day? Okay, I'm adding Cameron Day to my list. Cameron Day. And who else? Somebody said, what was it called? Gambarini or something? Wait, let me look back. Garan Bandal. Garan Bandal. I don't know what here. Let's look that up right now. I don't know what that is. I never heard of it. Okay. Okay, here we go. Garan Bandal. No clue what this is. Let's see. Garan Bandal apparitions are alleged appearances of Saint Michael and the Virgin Mary to 4 young girls in Tibet. Okay. The message is focused on conversion, prayer, and Eucharist, warning of a future worldwide warning and a miracle, but remain under investigation. I don't put much stock in the Vatican, so if they approved it or not, doesn't really bother me. Okay, let's see. The visionaries, Conchita Gonzalez, mend their lives through penance, sacrifice, and devotion. No. Okay, so no, I haven't heard of this, but why? Who brought this up again? Garambando. Truth Seeker. Tell me what do you think? Do you find these warnings to be legitimate? And yeah, what, like, tell me more about why you wanted me to look this up. Okay, E2 Universe, yeah, says yes, please. Okay, I added Elena Denons. Let's see. Vibit, and if you have anything you want to tell me, ET, about Elena, let me know. Yes, I'm also questioning this return to source too. Yeah, I've heard some people question it. Divya says, I speak in tongues and had a Kundalini crown chakra opening. It's all a trip in itself. It can make one feel like they have made it. Huh. Okay. Yep. Eddie says Sovereign Spirits talks about not merging with Source. It's another elaborate trap. I did a video this week on Sovereign Spirits. Interesting couple. Are they a couple or are they just working together? I don't know. Actually, they might not be a couple. Spider-Man in the house. Let's go. I'm thinking Kundalini is just another name for life energy, chi, Christ, spirit energy, etc. For those experienced it, it can vary in experiences. Mine was amazing, but life hasn't been the same since. Life hasn't been the same since, in a good way or in a bad way. Tell me. Viv B says, question for Tony. Can you give me more info about overlays? Okay, hold on. Plugs, attachments to our etheric energy body. Wait, can you give me more information about overlays, plugs, attachments to our etheric energy body, especially the metal-looking helmets he says he has removed doing his... Oh, I didn't know Tony did energy work. Okay, hold on. That's super cool. Let me go back to my here. What I'm going to do is this. Let's just share the whole. Let's share the window. Okay. Actually, wait. I shouldn't share my old one. Hold on, just in case. It's probably safer not to do that. Okay. Here we go. So you said... Okay, here we go. Can you give about overlays, plugs? Oops. Energy healing. Okay. Helmets. Oops. There we go. Okay, question has been added. Oops. Boom. All right. Thank you, Viv B. Vatican didn't approve. Read what the warning was saying, how it was described. It just resonates. Oh, no. Yeah, no, I was joking. It said Vatican didn't approve, and I was just joking, saying, oh, yeah, that doesn't bother me too much if the Vatican didn't approve it. Like, you know what I mean? But read the warning, what the warning was saying. Okay, let me read what the warning was saying. Hold on. All right. The warning: a global event experienced by everyone, described as an illumination of consciousness intended to purify humanity. Oh, okay. Cool. Okay, let me know if there's more to read about that. Yulia, welcome, Yulia. Speaking of source, I started thinking there's no source at all. I've thought about this too. That we are, you know how, I mean, it's not that far of a conclusion to draw. People say that we are fragments of source. It's talked about that in the Gnostic texts. Well, if we're fragments, we are source, right? Like we're pieces of the source. We don't know how many fragments there are. And maybe we kind of keep thinking that source is like still this massive blob and we're just all a couple like little fragments or shards or pieces that have been broken off. No, but like, yeah, who knows? What if we are it and we are all pieces, but it's us that comprise source? So really, like, maybe this idea of returning to source is just all of us returning to each other, but outside of this matrix, outside of this trap. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like this, I've thought about that exact same thing as well. Now, look, Alien Interview. I'm not saying, I know that book has been debunked in a lot of ways, and but it's kind of, that message was kind of in Alien Interview, and I liked it. You know, where it's basically saying stop looking for a god or a savior or something like that. Like we are that. We are infinitely powerful. We have everything that we're seeking in an external god or deity. We have it within us. We just don't realize it. I've been wondering that as well, Yulia. Okay, ET Universe says, Elena Danon claims bad entities like reptilians and grays were managing Earth before, have been taken out by Galactic Federation of Worlds. I know Elizabeth April talks about this Galactic Federation. Okay. Krishna says, have you looked into works of American remote viewing group Intuitive Underground? They reviewed... Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that was their name, but I know the Moksha remote viewing project with Brett Stewart. I did a whole breakdown of his account of the Moksha remote viewing. But hold on, let me look this up. So you're saying Intuitive Underground on YouTube. Okay, Intuitive Underground. Let me see. Intuitive Underground. Found it. Wait. It's only 22 subscribers. Is that the one? Let me see this. Whoa, I found it. 6 hours. Wait, hold on. Okay, Krishna, tell me if this is what you're talking about. Hold on. Are you talking about this video right here? It's like 6 hours long, like you're saying. Is this the one? Let me know. Viv says, Yulia, yes, me too. I had a session with Sabrina Denito from Belgium, whose life work is about helping people go to the field of light and formlessness after dropping the body. I never heard of Sabrina Denito. The Archangel Michael data is very confusing. It ultimately is just gaslighting. There could be truth to Archangel Michael, but it's being skewed on purpose. Okay, Spider-Man says, by same sense, I guess I mean life has been surreal. It's okay, you're talking about since you had that experience. It's felt like I've been attacked by what? But should I attribute that to Kundalini experience? Scary. You can regenerate yourself through this energy, hence those talking about conserving your sexual energy, discussing online all over. But as you all are all seeing so many illusions here. Hold on. Hence those talking about, okay. Spider-Man, what do we really know? So many questions. And the more you learn, the more you I know. Yes, the 22 sub channel, they don't do remote viewing full-time. So less subs, but they remote view okay. So I will have to really spend some time and look through this YouTube video. It's massive. Maybe I can even download the transcripts and I can find some interesting things to focus on here. Wow, this is cool. Thank you for sharing this with me, Krishna. Melodia says, Spider-Man, yes. That's what I think as well, that the more I learn, the more I realize that, yeah, me too. 1 second, guys. Let me get some more water. Like I said, my throat is killing me. 1 second. Okay. I'm back. You know what's funny? You guys are talking about this idea that, right, the more we learn, the more we realize there's so much to learn. And it's so wild to me. Like I've talked about this a bunch of times, but we have these big existential questions and so many things make no sense in a lot of organized religions. But yet so many people just latch on to one of these specific religions and they don't venture outside of it. Like once they picked it, they just like, nope, this is it for me. I've chosen it. It feels right. I'm going to stay within the confines and the walls of this. And it's like, yeah, but I know you have to have some of these same questions as well. Cause like once you get into that religion, there's so many things that, because there's no one religion, we all know this, that explains everything perfectly because they all have their issues. And for all of us, I think in here, we agree, yes, that if you actually try and investigate and learn and ask questions, it just keeps opening up new little folds of reality that we have to keep exploring. And but so many people willfully even don't even look behind the first curtain and they just kind of stop and say, no, this is explaining everything. People are telling me this should be all I need and all I ever will need to explain the nature of reality. And then they just stop, you know, and it's just crazy because like probably so many of you guys have spent way longer than me even exploring this stuff and are still trying to figure stuff out. You know, it just goes to show how I think important and complex this topic is. And by the way, this topic, if you really think about it, it's everything. This is everything. We're trying to understand everything. So it's of the utmost importance. Okay, Viv B says 1/2 Aeon Reloaded YouTube channel says, one of two, says he is an infinite being, pre-Matrix memories. He was creating worlds, exploring, having fun. Then this game was created where you limit yourself but no pain and could create and play here. And the exit was easy, but it got hijacked. Another fellow infinite enjoyed the forgetfulness of us and became sadistic, hence the soul trap now. I think I heard somebody else talking about this that started off not the way it is, and then now it's been commandeered and manipulated into this. If they look at the future, they should have different accounts since they are seeing possibilities. Right. I've heard this, that you can't really look into the future. You can look at probable outcomes, but you can't truly look into the future. If they are looking at the past at the exact same targets, it should mostly match. What about Jesse? Let me ask you a question. By the way, thank you, Jesse. Let me ask you a question. What about if they're looking at present, right? Like at things happening right now? That should all match too, correct? Because that's where we get a lot of things that don't match or are sort of like different. But okay. And Jesse says, I've been practicing remote viewing for a year now. Whoa, still have a lot to learn. That's so cool. What I can do in a matter of minutes is detach my astral body from my physical body and consciousness feeling fluid. Do in a matter of minutes. Now, oh, you meant now. Is detach my astral body. Wow, that's so cool. I'd love to know how you've been doing this. Hey, Krishna, thank you for the donation. I like your thinking and approach to life. Very open-minded and questioning everything. Keep up the good work. Hey, man, I'm trying my best. I'm just trying my best to be, this is literally just how I am. And yeah, I think it's serving me well on this quest and hopefully serving all of us, because hopefully we can all just keep going on this journey together. And as I've mentioned so many times, I'm learning a million things from everybody who's commenting and conversing with me on the live chat. So this is a mutually beneficial endeavor, I think, for all of us. Spider-Man says, appreciate everyone online that is looking into these things and sharing. I may actually do the same one day if I can manage to stabilize my own life at some point. Last 5 years have been brutal. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, Spider-Man. Anything you want to, well, yeah, if you want to, I don't know, let us know. Well, no, yeah, if it's private, no worries. But if you choose to want to share anything with us, we're here. We're open ears. Viv B. Eddie says, Viv B. Absolutely. Viv B. Eddie, are you familiar with his channel? Which channel are you talking about, Viv? Are you talking about, Aeon Reloaded? I've heard of Aeon Reloaded, but I'm not super familiar. Should I add that to my list, guys? Yeah, I'm just going to add it. Aeon Reloaded. You know what? I'm going to also, because I'm going to watch this video later. I'm going to also put this Doom Room video into my Pink Tourmaline interview list. Okay. Holy water is mentioned 0 times in the KJV. KGB, you mean? KJV? Wait. Pope is mentioned 0 times as well. What's KJV? Exorcism has 1 reference in complex description. Spider-Man, thank you. Lost people. And it's like life turned upside down, but I'm still here. But close encounters with death, for example. Yes. Yeah, it's funny how traumatic things can get us on this path. For me, as I mentioned on this channel before, what got me looking into all this stuff was dealing with a stalker back in 2024. And that was a horrible, horrible experience. But it got me looking into and asking about these questions, which got me looking into NDEs and then, gone down this path from there. It's so crazy that actually, I can't say I'd never heard of the soul trap theory whatsoever. I had heard way back in the day of David Icke talking about loosh and this idea of loosh, but I didn't know that it fed into like existence beyond life. But I remember him talking about it, and it was just too much for my brain to process. I was learning about extraterrestrial Stephen Greer. So I remember hearing about loosh, but I never heard it all tied into this idea of not just control here, but control in the afterlife or just in our extended existences, I guess you could say. But anyways, my point is that it's so wild that I think the vast majority of people have no clue about this whole line of thinking and this theory about the nature of reality, right? It's crazy. And now we're in this community here, even where we're all on the same page, but like 99% of people you talk to be like, what are you talking about? And there's just so much information. It's wild. Eddie says, PT, It's the most important topic. 100%. Of course. Trust me. It literally has to do with our place in existence. And yeah, of course, it is the most important topic. I used to think that the ET topic was the most important topic, but that's kind of folded into this one because that pertains to this general broader question of what is the purpose of life? More broadly, what is the purpose of existence? You can kind of boil it down to that, because if we are indeed in a matrix and really we want to exist outside of this, you know what I mean? It all blends together. Purpose. What is really happening here? That's what we're trying to get to the bottom of. Everest is back in the mix. What's up, Everest? Welcome back. Thank you for joining. The upside of Buddhism is that thanks to Buddha, they have an objective teaching and practice that trains the mind and heart to be truly loving and wise by personal experience and not by faith. True. No problem, Truth Seeker. So Spider-Man 33 discussing these things perhaps can lead to some answers. As above, so below. People keep saying that on this channel, and I said it too. Like I think we all keep coming to this, and I couldn't even remember the exact quote, but I was like, remember that quote, right? It kind of makes sense. We have all this backward stuff going on here, so maybe like that's a representation or a reflection of what's going on above us by the people in control. So true. Truth Seeker. Yeah, if this plane is wacky, the one above or below must be, yeah. Or vice versa. We're a reflection of that, yeah. Where are you in the world? I'm in Ireland. Truth Seeker, are you talking to me or Spider-Man? Oh, it's Spider-Man. Okay. King James Version. That's what you were referring to when you said KJV. Got you. Huzaifa, Aeon Reloaded is not maintaining his channels. He is concentrated on trying to destroy this place, but his friend is keeping it going. The NDE. Oh, I've seen the NDE Research Project. Hold on, let me put that up on my list. I think NDE Research Project. Hold on one second. I think they did an Elizabeth April interview that I was made a video about. NDE Research Project. Okay, got it. Yulia says, Gloom or Doom, what if there are multiple planes, not just two above and below? Yeah, I think there are multiple planes. I don't know. Feel for you, bro. Stalker stuff. Dude, you have no idea. It's insane. Have you experienced it? Maybe you're saying it's a whole other convo. Maybe you have. But yeah, it's horrible. Way more so than people realize. Because I used to not really think that it's, you hear about other people going through it. Most people kind of survive. So you're thinking, okay, this person is stalking you, but you're probably going to be okay. They're just harassing you. But when somebody's harassing you nonstop and they know where you live and they're texting and they won't leave you alone and they're just showing up at your house over and over, it destroys your sense of safety. Your home is meant to be where you feel safe. And when that's taken from you and you actually feel the most threatened at home, it messes you up so badly psychologically. Anyways. Yulia, I think there are multiple planes. Yeah, I believe so too. Lumadoom, I've wondered about that as well. Above us and below us, same or not as far as reflections. War in the heaven stories come to mind. If heaven is so great, why was there a war there? Anne-Marie Uber says that the copyright concept is important. She told this to an entity while in astral and was so shocked she knew. Copyright concept. All the tricks are invalid. Wait, what do you mean by the copyright concept, Viv B? Tell me. I'm intrigued. I never heard of this. Or this whole realm is a projected illusion from source. In real time, think of it like two people describing the same house from different street corners wearing slightly different tinted glasses. Okay. All right, Jesse, I get that. But what about, let's take the recent video, Isabella Green, talking about seeing a serpent, the demiurge, ensnaring the entire planet and draining loosh from it, okay? Then think about what Brett Stewart has said, basically, or Jason Giorgiani has described, basically psychotronic machinery absorbing the loosh, sort of like, I think like systems or panels surrounding the earth, like very different narratives. Could that be simply boiled down to two different people with two different perspectives describing the same thing differently? Because those seem so drastically different to me. It's hard to reconcile them, but you may have a different perspective. So please weigh in on those two accounts that are pretty starkly different. How still describing kind of the same thing, but they feel quite different. As within, as without. Legend. Realm is a copy of the original, or because it was hijacked. Wait, realm is a... You're talking about the copyright thing. Realm is a... You're saying this realm is a copy of the original? I had an Enoch vision experience before I read the book of Enoch, showing the planes above, below, sideways. It is so complex. I cannot explain it. Must be seen. So I drew a few pictures. Ooh, cool. If you could send us the picture, send me the pictures, I'd love to look at them. Cameron Day offers a meditation to help clear contracts in order to be free from the matrix. Interesting. Do I? Yeah, I have Cameron Day on my list. Okay, I have to look him up. Truth Seeker 33. I'm in Seattle area, not Seattle itself, but I just... Oh, cool. Nice. One of my best friends lives in Seattle. Say Mars axis shift, Jupiter axis shift. This means the Earth will shift axis. The war in the heavens is planetary. My thoughts. Have you heard of Fringe from the alien abduction community? No. She has interviews on YouTube and offers great insights of what ETs are actually doing on Earth. No, I haven't. Why are aliens racist? What do you mean? What do you mean they're racist? Gloomer Doom says, LOL. The matrix of the prison mind. Your thoughts and thinking keep you trapped and tied in the matrix. Let go and remove all fear. Practice being an observer and watcher of your thoughts and thinking. Okay. Then things will start. Okay. Pink Tourmaline. When you are a spiritual being and your awareness begins to rise, I think we become magnetic in a way and we attract good, bad, and everything in between. Oh. Well, if that's how it's going to go, I guess that's how it's going to go. But why do you say this? Not saying I disagree. I mean, I can see that that feels logical to me in some way. Like you're a brighter light, so you'd attract more flies type of situation. But I wonder if somebody has said this or if you read this somewhere. Fear keeps you trapped in the matrix. Is that true? Black people don't get abducted? I actually swear I remember seeing a video on alien abduction of a, I want to say it was like a woman who was black and her whole family had been getting abducted for generations. I don't know if that's true. Jesse says, it does seem different. I would have to look into it. Can you explain a bit more or share it? Yeah. Well, okay. Let me see if I can find... I'll show the two videos back to back here. 1 second. Okay. Here is what Brett Stewart saw.
When we originally described this site, it's a fence or a grid around a place. This acts as a barrier. It collects and traps people, things, or objects. This is actually an innocent planet that is being used in an unintended way. And this meters the flow and acts as a checkpoint and an access point for an external force. One viewer described it as similar to hocus pocus in a way of its energetics that the viewer wasn't familiar with. And it's occurring on a crowded planet. It's a deliberate function that acts as a cage. People have been dispersed here, and a form of perverted injustice is occurring. Third viewer described it as a large naturally formed object, like a planet, that acts as an animal pen. This is a refugee camp tucked away out of sight, and a magnetic force. It stirs, agitates, and it works in a cylindrical manner, like clockwork over a long expanse of time. In my session, my work described a planetary system that's extremely crowded and jammed. Ghostly voices are flooding into this place, and it's incredibly harrowing for them. It's a bone-chilling experience. As a viewer, when I remote viewed this, I had descriptions that it made me upset in the session. It elicited contempt for what was going on at the site. But the activity at the site was this concept of a net that's been spun, and it's an operation of catch and release on a grand scale. So there's a massive grid that exists around this planet, and it acts as a checkpoint a waypoint or rest stop where souls are drained, and then that in turn energizes something else. So very, very specific information about.
Okay. So anyways, he describes it as this grid system, and obviously the energy of the loosh being drained. And then let me show you Isabella's. Oops. Oh, shoot. Hold on 1 second. Let me show you Isabella's view of what she saw. Hold on. Here. Okay, hold on. Let me show you this.
The whole visual. I got the whole visual. And then as I'm looking at it, it actually kind of like moved the eye and looked at me. And the same feeling, that arrogance, like self-centered arrogance, cold indifference, no aggression, no, just kind of like, you know, and the way it was wrapped around Earth, it wasn't swallowing its own tail like the Ouroboros symbol. It was holding it. It was holding it like the animal holds the prey. Like, you know, like typical when you have any carnivore, right, got the prey and they're like, don't come close, this is mine, right? That was the sense. Very calmly, coldly, without any concern of any sort. But the self-centered arrogance is the description of the state of being that I got from it. And so as I'm hanging there, and when you are in this altered state, you have access to more information, right, than the left brain, the human brain can do. And so in my human experience, I've never had this kind of experience before. Right. So I don't have any background knowledge or information, but I'm tuning into the state of that being and what's going on. Why is it wrapped like that on Earth? So that's my question in my humanness there. And I just get very clear message, knowledge, knowing. And it's just very simple. The harvest is on. Like, this is here for the next level of harvest. And
okay, so there it is. So, and again, now that I'm listening to it again, maybe it's what she was seeing at that particular moment was the entity, the demiurge, whatever you want to call it, had returned at that moment. But maybe when Brett Stewart was observing it, that entity wasn't around physically. Like, the system was still going down and still collecting loosh and whatever. But maybe the demiurge made an appearance at this particular point that wasn't there when Brett Stewart. So, and, you know, but also she didn't mention the grid. Like, yeah, so these are my questions. It seems like those two are different accounts when viewing the same thing. So yeah, Tyler, give me your thoughts. Okay, sorry, we got a lot of comments here that I got to get through. Maybe in Africa, but not in America. Glimmer Doom says, so this is interesting. I posted the video from Tony twice here and it gets skipped. Maybe you're not meant to see it. Wait, oh, you're posting it here and it's not showing up? Yeah, I didn't. Wait. And it gets skipped? Wait, did I skip it? Hold on. Amy Figoli. I'm not seeing it. Amy Figoli, 1 second. Maybe it's not letting you post a video link because, Amy, I don't see it. Amy, do me a favor. Can you email me? Hold on. Let me give you my email. Okay. Pink Tourmaline 1980. Okay. Email me there. And then I'll post it and we can watch it. Can anyone here answer why Tartaria is being covered up? He will see it now. Are you talking about me seeing the video? Yeah, I still can't see it. No, many people have been abducted by grays. It has nothing to do with skin color. If your family and past generations had connections to occult practice, you have a higher chance to be abducted. Got it. Thank you, Krishna. I've been wanting to look into Tartaria too. I've heard about it. Truth Seeker laughing. Eddie Art Tartaria is an old umbrella term for some Asian regions, not a mystical place. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Was Tartaria the last reset, trying to erase knowledge history of it? On old maps, Tartaria is Russia, Mongolia. Sorry, there's no more Tartaria. It's just Asia. Got it. I think the missing children are key to this reincarnation trap. The Esteem regime are trying to control who comes and who goes in reincarnation. Just a thought that won't go away. Pink Tourmaline, yes. As for the magnetic thing, maybe like Tess or Loosh, I've heard it said, but mostly thought of it myself as crazy things have shown up in my day-to-day life, only speculating though. Tartario and Mudflood resets. Mudfloods did happen, photography of it. Oh, I never heard of the Mudfloods. PT, please look up Mud Fossil University. Roger Spur. Head a genius. Okay. Roger Spur. Let me write that down. Okay, you said Roger Spur, Mud Fossil University. Mud. Okay, reset means Air of Truth being rewritten. I mean, he's a genius. Okay, got it. Yeah, I figured that's what you meant. Mud Fossil University. It's tough to wrap your head around, but I think Roger may be completely correct. The video seems to disappear. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I literally haven't seen it once, but if you email it to me, I'll put it up here. Oh shoot. I just realized Mihaela actually emailed me and I forgot to respond to her. Jesse Tyler, official. Interesting. Let's keep in mind that two things can be true at the same time. I think there is some sort of cage that keeps a soul stuck on Earth with the purpose of recycling souls for loose extraction. Okay, fair enough. Know to house. You'll see things based on your personal awareness. It's not the description that's important, but the intention behind it. Ooh, that's how they keep people confused. Okay. Jesse says, I will definitely watch those videos and see what conclusions I can come up with. Elizabeth April does acknowledge some sort of system that keeps souls stuck here. And not really, though. I did a whole breakdown of Elizabeth April. I don't think she doesn't exactly acknowledge it. She says that what happens is via intense trauma or abuse that we're left with like a sort of signature on our soul or scar kind of on our soul that because the abuse or trauma is so great that when we reincarnate, the only place where we try to reincarnate to or want to reincarnate to is where we experience that severe trauma to kind of fix it or amend it is kind of what I gathered, something like that. But basically, so she has a very different viewpoint and she doesn't talk about loosh whatsoever, energy extraction. She just basically says we kind of more or less get stuck here because we keep wanting to come back to where this extreme trauma occurred. So that's how we get quote unquote stuck here. But it's a very different description. Also, Elizabeth April talks about opening white light portals, which if you do buy into the narrative of the astral being part of the trap and going up to the astral and getting the life review is all part of the trap. Like she's kind of, and I don't think she's doing it on purpose, by the way, or intentionally, but she kind of seems to be part of that or maybe unknowingly or whatever it may be, involuntarily being a part of that system. So just FYI, make sure to check that out. Tell me if you agree or disagree. But Andre Montana, why do some OBEers view a heliocentric scene and others see a flat? Yeah, it's a good question. I think you're talking about Darius J. Wright and how he sees it as like a flat earth when you zoom out. And with a dome and stuff like that, I have no idea. Again, maybe it could be when you like actually while we're in this plane and in this realm, it's as it's described by astrologists and physicists. We live on a sphere, and just whatever as we've come to expect. But maybe when you step out into an external dimension, everything looks different. Maybe I don't know. So maybe certain people are zooming out to various. I'm just purely speculating, but it could be from a different view or from a different angle, from a different dimension. It looks different. I don't know. Andrea, maybe it depends on what the person believes. So yeah, I've wondered this too, that beliefs can influence what you remote view to some extent. Andre, maybe some entities can play tricks while a person. I bet you they can. I bet you. I've watched video on flat Earth. What video did you watch? I actually, dude, there was a while where I was watching a lot because I was curious about it in terms of, I'm like, how is there this massive movement? This is crazy, but I just want to hear it out. Like, I'm not just going to laugh at it and walk away. So I started listening to a lot of videos. There's this one guy, and I'm forgetting his name now because I haven't seen these videos in years, but he's like the head of the movement. There's a documentary about the flat Earth movement. I watched all this stuff, and because I'm like, this is such a crazy idea. I want to be able to look into it, and if I'm going to dismiss it, like feel good about that as opposed to just laughing at it or something from afar. And then so that's what I did. I dug into it as much as I could, and then I was like, I just don't think there's any legs to this theory. And yeah, our own mind's trap is here, along with being too invested in this realm via our egos. I mean, trap us here. Yeah, got you. And being on the smartphones. Oh my God. You guys look around. Oh, it drives me crazy every day, and I try not to get triggered by it. And even I have to remind myself not to do it, by the way. But when I see people walk, like looking down at their phone, everybody does it all the time. I'm just like, dude, I get it that the phone is calling to you and it's like an addict, but just make a rule for yourself while you're walking. First of all, it's dangerous. But second of all, while you're walking, you're at the park or something like that, unplug, let yourself be present. You know, you don't have to be so sucked into that phone all the time. It's crazy. Darius is a hybrid Anunnaki gatekeeper. You mean like when you say gatekeeper, is that like an archon type of thing? The Black Herd, understand the stalker thing. I had something similar with, it's horrible. Yeah, I'm sure that sucked with your ex. For me, it was somebody I didn't even know. And it was, yeah, it's just terrible. What happened with that, by the way? How did you get him to leave you alone? Black Herd, let me know. But so glad that it's over. Because when you're in the thick of it, you wonder if it will ever end. You think, like, how is this person? They're so obsessive and insane. When will this ever stop? Everett says, you should check out alleged Andromedan's contactee Alex Collier's first interview talking about the manipulation of by ET races on humanity. Oh, Alex Collier. Okay, Alex Collier. Okay, added to the list. I think one of two steps to getting out of here is to question who you are. You are not your body, your personality, your job. For sure. For sure. I believe that. Your role in life, your identity is not you. Yeah, Jesse Tyler says, yeah, Elizabeth April does talk about energy extraction and of low vibration energy. Oh, okay. She just doesn't call it loosh. Right. Yeah, I've never heard her say loosh either. Yeah, she does talk about the energy extraction. She talks about like feeding off of your energy and even feeding off of your blood. But then she also talks about in that video that they do it specifically to, I think, like the star seeds or something like that. It still feels like a pretty different paradigm, what she's describing versus what David Icke's describing. Like what David Icke and Bob Monroe and these other folks describe is almost the entire purpose of this earth right now has been commandeered into solely extracting loosh, whereas Elizabeth April says that some of us are being fed upon. That was my understanding from the video that I broke down, but correct me if I'm wrong, Jesse. Jesse, what do you think of Elizabeth April? Are you a big fan of hers, or do you think that maybe she's got some things wrong? Let me know your thoughts. And by the way, not to say that I don't like her by any means. I think she seems to be a genuine person, and she's trying her best, just like we all are. But I wonder if from where I sit right now, I wonder if she might be a little bit off track. But I'd love to know your thoughts. Fringe interviews are definitely worth watching. Super interesting. Okay. The phone has just become an extension of person's insecurities. When they're not on the phone, they're still... Yeah, you might. Yeah. You're right. Note a house. Good observation. Yeah, sometimes we think that, before phones, everything was amazing. It's like, no. We still had people not connecting and looking around, you know what I mean? Connecting with nature or people or things like that. You're right. It's a good point. LOL, good advice. These phones are like crack for most of you. Yeah. Oh my God. For me too. I'm not saying dude, I've still been, and I've regressed actually recently, but for a long time, it was a battle to stop looking at my phone before I went to bed. Oh my God. Because that was one of my favorite things, either play games or watch YouTube videos on MMA, you know. And, but now luckily, because I've been able to somewhat build in this reading habit. And so that helps me unplug from the phone. And that's been really nice. But yeah, it's, definitely a dopamine triggering loop. Viv B, Truth Seeker says, Krishna, Pink Tourmaline, have you seen the African shaman Credo Mutwa interview with David Icke? No. Let me look that up. African, hold on. Or actually, let me just write it on my list. African shaman Credo Mutwa David Icke video. Okay, I just added it to my list. Oh, Ashanti Boss might be new. Welcome. I'm in a very weird place in my spiritual journey now with the possible thought of a prison planet. I'm unsure why so many OB-ers don't describe it that way. And yo, you're speaking to the choir. Welcome to the channel. Is this your first time checking out one of my my videos or jumping on a live stream? This is exactly what I was talking about earlier in the stream. It's really tough, you know, and this isn't leading me to discount, by the way, OBE accounts or remote viewing accounts. Like I have to believe that the truth lies within these experiences and accounts somewhere. But the fact that they're differing or they're different, you know what I mean? It's very confusing. But I'm sure I'm just going to stay on it, and hopefully we will get to the bottom of this. Hold on one second. I just have to respond to a text message. One second. Okay. Okay, sorry. Hold on, I might have to respond to one more text. One second. Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, so Ashanti, I think a lot of us were in that same, we're feeling that same thing right now. I'm on no social media except YouTube and have no regrets. Let's go. I have my dog's Instagram, and we have our Instagram I have another channel with a buddy of mine about mixed martial arts. So we post stuff there, but yeah, I don't like go on Instagram and scroll and look at other people's accounts. Like it's mainly YouTube that I like to come to for this type of information, for MMA stuff. And yeah, sometimes just like random entertainment stuff, but that's pretty much what I watch. Okay. Billy Carson talks about a worship gene. Yeah, I've heard that. I used to be a big fan of Billy Carson. I mean, it's not like I'm not anymore, but I used to be really interested in just understand, like I just thought Billy Carson just felt like he was a truth seeker and trying to understand the nature of our history, the nature of ETs, where we fit into the whole equation. And well, anyways, I guess now I'm on this focal point of soul trap, how to exit, all this stuff. And I've never heard Billy Carson really talk about that topic, so I haven't looked at his content in a while. But anyways, okay. And obsession with ritual and religion, always putting hope and power in external force, never growing up. Yeah. I mean, it kind of makes sense why, let's say, these religions are being created by us or by manipulation, whatever it may be. And they're all different, but they all come down to the same idea. Well, actually, maybe Buddhism is an exception, right? But we're looking up. We're looking to a savior. We're looking for help. We're looking for an all-powerful entity, not us, not looking within. We're looking out. And it's kind of like they're all different, but they're all kind of the same, but they all further the same agenda of weakening ourselves in a way, right? By virtue of saying we need help. They all further the same agenda. Maybe it's why they're all around and still thriving the way they are. Yulia says Ashanti boss probably because the prison planet thing can be hard to swallow for some. That could be it as well. Why we have different accounts. Some people just don't want to see that. Maybe when they're, I don't know, just a theory. Ashanti, that's because the end of years has shown the nice, warm, fuzzy experience so they can come back, tell us to continue the problem. That's also, yeah, Ashanti, I don't know if you're new to this idea that NDEs are actually manipulations, but that's something that I've talked about a lot on this channel. Spider-Man, I want to be off the internet in the next few weeks. Google owns Android and all smartphones will need government ID, passport, etc. for using the internet coming in September. Whoa. Wait, Truth Seeker, does that mean you're going to disappear from the channel? I mean, if you got to go, you got to go, but I hope not because you've been one of the most active people on this channel in terms of comments and live streams and stuff. But again, like I said, if you got to go, you got to go. Your interview with Credo and David was wow. Okay, well, it's on my list. It's on my list. Eva Self-Made. Eva Self-Made. Wait, have you been? I don't think you've been on the live stream before, but I know you. I remember you commenting on some of my videos. I feel like this is the first time you've been here. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Legend. I feel like Eva's commented a lot on the videos. Great to finally have you in person. We have great people here. The vibe is always, I know the vibe is so good here. The community is awesome. And I hope it just keeps going that way. I hope we don't get any negative Nancy's in the mix. You know what I mean? People that are trying to troll me, but it very well could, and could happen at some point. It's happened on my other channels. Eddie, I think we have a compulsion to look for a savior because it's in our personality overlay programming. Truth Seeker, yeah, that's something I've been concerned with as well. I don't know how we're going to avoid all that stuff at some point. Glimmer Doom, check out Chi Master John Chang. He shows the electric force from within. Interesting. Hey, PT, do you practice? I train Muay Thai, which is the striking aspect of mixed martial arts. So yeah, I've been training Muay Thai for almost 7 years. Holy smokes. But I don't go to my MMA gym all the time like I used to. I used to do like 2 privates a week for a long time. And then now, though, I still try and go and hit the bag every day at my gym when I lift weights just to make sure my striking is on point. But I haven't been sparring as regularly as I'd like to, stuff like that, but I feel like my striking is still pretty sharp. Ashanti Boss says, I'm wondering if some of it is a construct of your own subconscious or if there's some form of base reality in the astral and what's beyond this realm. I'm wondering if some of it is a construct. Yeah. You mean in terms of what people are seeing? I'm wondering that as well, because that could account for some of the differences. Now, when you're talking about the astral, okay, we get into some weird territory because the quote unquote astral in this community, I think a lot of people would say the astral it's like an AI construct. It's like a place where we go after we pass on, and it's set up to manipulate us and to further certain beliefs and ideas to convince us and manipulate us into returning to life once again. And so when different people see different things or different entities or have different experiences, the theory is that those experiences are curated by the entities that are managing the system, or by the AI system, even, if you will. So like if you're Christian and you pass away, you're going to see Jesus because that's what you're expecting. And so it's to win you over and to be able to manipulate you, be like, okay, listen, you did great in that life, but there's a couple things that you could have done better. You're almost ascended. You've ascended to a certain level, but you got more work to do. So we think this life would be perfect for you. These are going to be your parents, and kind of like that. Amy Fagoli, I think if you look up Elizabeth, April, and Trump, you will see something that is subtle and unsettling. I feel she has become manipulated and compromised. Okay, I'll check that out. If I come across the app developers and the people who work behind the internet, oh, what? They are speaking out about it. They're against the digital prison. Really? I haven't even heard about this. John Chang has electric abilities. He sets a newspaper on fire. What? Okay, I'm adding John Chang to the list. Okay. Religion, New Age, science, all our belief systems looking for external authorities, right? Fair enough. You are correct, Viv. Digital ID in September. Wow, I never even heard of any of this. Eva Self-Made. Yes, my first live in London and sleepiness. Let's go. Wait, let me think. London is 8 hours ahead. Oh, so it's 1 a.m. there, right? Jesse Tyler, I've learned a lot from EA. Oh, Elizabeth April. I don't think she contradicts people like David Icke so much. I'm typically able to put different pieces together from both of them. And others like Lily Nova. And I haven't heard of Lily Nova. I'm going to add that to my list. Lily Nova. Got it. Okay. Great to hear that perspective. Thank you, Jesse, for sharing that. Truth Seeker. Yes, of course. I will never comply. Didn't comply to a jab. I love my freedom more than the internet. Daniel, what's up? What's up? Welcome to the channel and the live stream. Is there a paper in the Journal of Near-Death Studies about the NDE? You know what? Great question. I don't know. Let me see. Hold on. Let me Google that. I would doubt it, but let me check. Okay, NDE. Okay, Journal of Near-Death Studies. Journal Studies. NDEs. Manipulation. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, I mean, when I Google everything. Okay. The University of Virginia School of Medicine says that, oh, well, this is not manipulations. This is 11 to 22% of NDEs are negative or distressing. But that's not exactly it. Yeah. That's all I can find there. Eddie says, Sad got Street Fighter. Society teaches that everyone outside of you has authority over you since birth. Apparently, yeah, true. Absolutely. David Icke talks about that all the time. Krishna says, what is the name of your MMA channel? It is called 10-7 MMA. Here, hold on. I'll post the link if you want to check it out. 1 second. There it is. Viv B, the astral is still the matrix. Exactly. Yeah, I figured somebody would say this in response to Ashanti. The astral is still the matrix, just a different layer, so still a manipulated environment. Are any of you noticing strange weather patterns in your area or experiencing wild swings in, say, temperatures? No, I have not. Eddie says, if archons are actually aspects of your own minds, they are not separate from us. They are a part of us. Interesting. I never heard that. What's beyond the 13 realms? That's always been my issue, even with Robert Monroe. Are we reuniting with Source? Are we on to our next realm? Yeah, I don't think I have the answer to this either. I'd love to know if anybody else knows the answer. I've also heard of like a black void that we go to. I literally I don't know. Eddie, that's depressing. Chi Master, I think it was on BBC. Eddie, I've wondered about this idea as well. Projected reality thing, crazy if true. Spider-Man. My sky is nearly always gray, white projector screen. The wind weather has picked up. Strangely, hottest we've had in 17 degrees. Too much radio waves and chemtrails. Truth is never nice, guys. That's why we always want to avoid it. True. Yes, the ego hates to hear truth, but you're not the ego self. There's my 10-7 channel. The chemtrails are to cover up Nibiru and incoming pole shift, says Krishna. Ego is operating from devil entity majority of times, drifting in and out. Okay, I got to show you guys something now. Ready? Here's my big announcement. Okay, ready? Big announcement, people. Three, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm doing the Gateway this summer. I am doing the Gateway Voyage from the Monroe Institute. Okay, look. Bob Monroe called Gateway a voyage to self-discovery through a gateway expanded awareness. Best way to begin your journey at Monroe Institute. As a prerequisite for many of our advanced consciousness training programs. Learn to navigate non-physical realm. During this transformational residential retreat, you'll gain the tools and techniques needed to navigate the non-physical realm. We're talking out-of-body experiences. We'll teach you to enter specific levels of expanded consciousness, like the state of no time. Then you'll experience deep relaxation and find the guidance that leads to profound insight. You'll also explore the out-of-body state. Tap into expanded states of awareness. It accelerates your ability to go farther, deeper, and faster into different dimensions of consciousness. Shift your perspective on what's possible. With a more enlightened understanding of self and how you relate to others, you'll come to know your life's purpose. Anyways, I don't know how much of this is going to be, you know what I mean? But this is going down. This is going down this summer, people. You understand? I learned about Monroe a year and a half ago from my ex-girlfriend. And she'd been telling me for the longest time, you got to go to Monroe. You got to go to Monroe. And then that was even before this channel kind of went into all this new information. But yeah, like it's just all lining up. I cannot wait to do this program. But yeah, I'm doing it this summer. And when I do it, as soon as I come back, I'm going to give an entire breakdown of everything I learned. I'm going to share it with all you guys. Okay, that was my big announcement. I'm going to Monroe. Let's go. Few 2004 says, hey, Pink, have you checked out the Urantia books? There are several books describing in detail how the world was made and how you should live. No, I've never heard of that. Okay, let me write it down. Urantia books. On YouTube. Okay. The Black Herd, the law, LOL. The worst part was family and friends not taking it seriously. Congratulations. We'll change your... Oh, and Gateway, let's go. We'll change your life. The Gateway seems the same stuff I do. Let's go. I cannot wait. Guys, I'm going to do... Oh, my God. I can't wait. I'm not sure if I'll be able to make videos while I'm there because they said they really want you to unplug from technology, which is wild for me because I have so many people. Because like, I don't know if you guys, I haven't really explained how busy I am. I'm so busy and I work with so many students. I always have people texting me and rescheduling and moving around. And like on Sundays, a lot of times I'll do like 12 hours of tutoring during the week. It's slowing down now because we're getting to the end of summer, although it'll speed up during finals. But we're getting to the end of the year, I mean. But yeah, so I'm posting on multiple social media channels. So it's gonna be crazy when I do unplug. It's gonna be weird. But anyway, so I probably won't see you guys for like a week. But when I come back, holy smokes, I'm gonna have a lot to share. Vibi, question: where does our fear come from? How to overcome it? Specific tactics. Are you asking? Wait. Viv, are you asking where's our fear come from and how to overcome it? Or are you pointing me in the direction of a resource that helps us with that? Yes, I would love to do the Gateway at Monroe. Melodia, you've heard of it? I'm so excited, guys. There's more to the story, okay? But I don't want to go into all the details yet of exactly what I'm embarking on because it's more that I just don't want to say too much yet because I'm still waiting for certain steps to be crossed before I can give you guys the details. But this is going to be, it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild what I'm doing. But I mean, I'm doing the Gateway program, but there's more to it. So I'll let you guys know when I can reveal more, when I'm comfortable revealing more, I guess you could say. Matthew says, cool. Are you talking about Monroe? Your intro was great, but it got hijacked with false deceptive info. Really? I'm excited for you. It's the best money you will spend since you want to pay. By the way, Darius J. Wright was exposed by a former acquaintance of the Archaics channel. All these agents popping up as wild. Eva, can you send me the video talking about him being exposed? I'd love to check it out. Daniel says, I heard that Monroe introduced Infiltrated, but not sure exactly what happened, if anything. Melodia, yes, tell us when you come back from Gateway. 100% will do. I mean, I could see Daniel saying it was infiltrated. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some level of infiltration. I mean, they have so many people on the programs. I wouldn't be surprised at all if government organizations or other people have like tone certain things down. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But regardless, I feel like I'm gonna learn a lot going there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be a beautiful experience. It's gonna be a beautiful experience. Robert Monroe minus Jason equals gurus. Not sure what you mean by that. Super unknown. You'll be changed, better, new. Oh my God, I can't wait. I can't wait, guys. Coast to Coast AM Radio had Monroe guests on in the past. I prefer Art Bell over George Norrie. I was listening to an interview actually of Luigi Sgambarelli. I think he's also a Monroe guy, but don't know too much about him yet. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. Read Voyage by Ashanti. I was in the GATE program as a kid. It opens new doors. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. Can this be done online? I believe so. Yeah, I think they have an online course now as well. Ashiana Dean. Pink Tourmaline, GW. I think that's the same program Jordan Crowder, another YouTuber, went to and has been pretty vocal about his experience there. Good luck, man. I've thought about it as well. That's the whole point. Unplug from the Matrix. Do you? Yes. A great book I read many years ago that helped my memory, focus, and concentration. David Clare, Instant ESP. Okay, cool. I'll have to check that out. That book also explains, here, let me Google it right now. Instant ESP. Okay, found it. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, David St. Clair's Lessons in Instant ESP. Found it. Okay. Guys, I'm going to have to go in about 3 minutes. 2 reasons. One, I have a session in 17 minutes, but also, too, my voice is dying. I need to eat something, like let my voice rest. What the heck? This book is $150? Dang, that's expensive. Okay. The Tibetan Book of the Dead says you go to the pleroma once you can get past the archons and demiurges of black void. Yeah. It has talked about the black void. It doesn't really talk about archons well, maybe it kind of does. It says like entities drinking blood out of skulls or something like that. Is that the archons? You know what I mean? I'm not sure, but I've seen that over and over and over. Yes, I'm asking. Okay, you're asking. Yeah. Oh boy. I don't know if I have the answer on how to overcome fear. Wait, go back. Let me go back to your comment, your original comment. Where does our fear come from? Oh, yeah. Where it comes from, probably a combination of programming in this life. And yeah, I would say that programming in this life, maybe some programming before life too. You know, I made a video talking about that staging area in the astral before we come into our bodies as seeding certain ideas or events in your soul before you come here, so that like those things unfold roughly how they want things to unfold. So maybe certain things are seated in us as well. But how to get rid of fear, man, I would have to believe primarily just like embracing our true identity and accepting that we are indeed immortal, eternal, and we have way more power than we're led to believe. I think William Bowman still, but you're asking somebody who's still like in the midst of it. You know what I mean? So I do not have all the answers by any means. I'm just guessing. I think William Bowman still told. Yeah, I've heard that too. I read his book, Adventures Beyond the Body. I told you Darius was a New Age villain. Yeah, you did. A lot of people. I mean, listen, look. Let me say this, okay? I think it's a dangerous thing to be too judgmental of somebody that I've never met or talked to personally, because it's people. Look, what I do for a living and where I live in Los Angeles. Like, I've worked with the kids of obviously, but like I've worked with a lot of people that are public, and they're maybe sometimes regarded in one way in the public eye, but it's a totally different relationship when you're in their home and you get to know them and you get to know their family and stuff like that. And sometimes somebody can say something in their worst moment or in an interview or things like that that can be misinterpreted, and now you have a negative connotation of them going forward. But they might be, you just don't know the full picture. So all I want to say is, when I watch stuff from Darius, just like you told me that, right? Something irks me. I will be honest. I'm just being honest. Okay. I'm not trying to attack the guy. but something feels off when I listen to him. He seems super confident in what he's saying. And I feel like we should all, even if you've seen these different levels, we should always have a level of skepticism, even about things that we ourselves experience, especially when there's different people saying different things. But it's like, that rubs me wrong. That makes me feel like, why can't you just say, this is what may be the case, but I'm totally also open to listening to what other people said. Like, he's just solely relying on his visions and what he's experienced, and other people have experienced other things. Like, why not look at the totality of everything that's happened? I feel like he doesn't do that, and it irks me a little bit. You know, is that ego driven? Where does that come from? That being said, I have not met him. I have not talked to him. I have not interviewed him. So I'm really trying not to make a formal, definitive judgment about him until I get that opportunity, let's say at some point, and maybe I never will. But if I don't get that opportunity, I'm going to try to do my best to not be too judgmental from what I'm seeing online and things like that. Okay. Anyways, enough about that. Yeah, it should be open now. Horizons. They give you 60% truth with 40% lies. What are you talking about? Who does that? Are you talking about the government? Or warning, Urantia book is psyop. Oh, really? I read it and clearly made us to keep him praising. Oh, interesting. Brett Stewart remote viewed the Urantia book and found out evil mantis. Whoa, that's crazy. Honest question. What can you gain from learning OBE astral traveling? I don't know, but I want to find out. Great question. I have no idea, but I want to try. I want to get out and I want to see what I see. I would like to believe it's a step in the right direction of understanding the nature of reality, but I don't know. Brett Stewart had remote viewed the Urantia books exposing. Yep. Somebody else just mentioned that. Wow. Wild. Tom Campbell mocked Robert Monroe in a video. Did he? I never saw that. Thank you. Enjoyed the live stream. Thank you, Truth Seeker. You're always here. You're always commenting. I appreciate you. Okay, last couple comments, and I got to go, guys. You'll be able to create your own realities. Brett Stewart, remote viewed. Okay, yep. Gnostics, new truth. All dogma is cancer. I got the Gnostic text on my desk over here. Still haven't cracked it open. New Age villain. I like that one. Maybe Edgar Casey is also a New Age villain. I don't know a ton about Edgar Casey. Viv, I'm trying to have an OBE for exploration. So far, I've only had a few lucid dreams, but I'm not giving up. Yeah, I'm not giving up either. I've been trying almost every night. I've taken a couple nights off, especially when I had a medical procedure last week. But search Archaics, Darius J. Ray. Interview starts at 1 hour mark. What she shared makes sense to how Darius comes across. Okay. Archaics, Darius J. Ray. Let me search that. Okay. Nuance. That's why I've learned and observing the many influences online. I get irritated with some of them as well, but I try to remain open to ideas regardless. Darius, you learn how to exist outside the parameters of physical form. Lucid dreams. Use mugwort under your pillowcase. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I got for today. Thank you, everybody, for joining. And thank you to everybody for the donations. Let's see. We got Escape the Loosh Farm. Thank you. Thank you. And Krishna, new in the chat. And thank you for your donation. Guys, we are in this together. We are on this journey. We are on this mission. And as many people have said, and I believe as well, this is the most important thing we can be doing, period. And I think last question here, Eddie says, why are you having Tony on? Oh, when are you having Tony on? Next Wednesday. So I'm interviewing him next Wednesday in the afternoon. And hopefully I'll just be able to upload the entire video raw. But I think we'll record it and I'll just say, hey, is there anything like you want me? You know what I mean? I want to be super respectful and courteous of him because he's doing me a huge favor by coming on. So, and then if all is well, I'll post that video next Wednesday night. So right as soon as it's done. But I'll see you guys on the live stream on Friday, 6 p.m. PST. See you guys in 2 days. Thank you guys so much for joining, and we'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.